Hi, we're going to be talking about IVs. So, in starting IVs, we need to know different kinds of tubings. So a standard macro drip with an A is 15 drops per ml. Standard micro drip is 60 drops per ml. You'll use micro drips for PEDS, special IVs, critical care IVs. Blood tubing is 10 drops per ml. So if I write a question, say for example, using standard macro drip tubing, then that is 15 drops per ml. So let's do number 1 here on your study guide for IVs. So the first thing is you're going to run these IVs consecutively over 24 hours using standard macro drip tubing. 1,000 mLs of D5 normal saline, and then your second one will be 500 mLs of Ringer's lactate. So first you're going to run the 1,000 milliliters, then you're going to run the 500. So we total up those and we're looking for milliliters per hour. So we have 1,500 mLs and we're going to run that over 24 hours. I don't need any conversion factors here because I already have my milliliters per hour. So all we have to do is divide 1,500 by 24 hours because we already have our symbols here. So that ends up being 62.5 milliliters. Now we can't give a decimal of a milliliter or a decimal of a drop. So it would be, we're going to round up, 63 milliliters per hour. Okay. Now let's do volume per minute. Drops per minute. Let me change the thickness on this so I can write a little bit better. Okay, so you can do it one of two ways. You can start off with 63 milliliters per hour times, now we need a drop factor because we want minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. And you're going to put the minutes on hours and minutes wherever you need to have them. And our drop factor is 15 drops per ml. So that's how we've set it up. So let's get rid of these, get rid of our hour, leaves us with drops per minute. Now let's reduce this down so we don't have so much to deal with here. So I know that 15 will go into 64 times, right? So now we end up with 63 divided by 4, which equals 15.6 or 16 milliliters an hour. Okay? Whoops, don't know what that was for, but let's go down the page here. And the rest of these are basically the same, but I wanted to go over one, number 5. Okay, using standard macro drip tubing, which is 20 drops per ml, calculate the volume per minute. And we're going to give 1,500 milliliters of D5W over 24 hours. So we're looking for volume per minute, remember, which is drops per minute. And we're going to give 1,500 mLs over 24 hours. And we need our drop factor here. Sorry about that. Which is let me put the drop, 60 minutes. And 20 drops per ml. Okay, I can get rid of some things here. 20 will go into 63 times. Now, can I go any further on this? 3 will go into 1500, 500 times. So we end up with 500 divided by 24, which equals, let me find my calculator here. Divided by 24 comes out to 20.8 or 21 drops per minute. Okay, now this next question is asking standard macro drip tubing. So we're looking at drops per minute, and we're just going to set it up the same way, only instead of the 20 drops we're going to put in 15. So we have 1500 over 24 hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 15 drops per ml. Okay, we know that I can go right there. 15 drops, 60. Will 4 go into 1500 evenly? Yes, it will. 375. So we end up with 375 divided by 4 equals 93.75 or 94 drops per minute. When you're doing drops per minute, you need to realize that if you have something that is a large number, remember that when you're doing drops per minute, you actually have to stand there and count for a full minute how many drops drop into the drip chamber, and then you regulate your IV tubing that way. So if you come up with a huge number, just remember, am I going to stand there and count this? No, you've probably done something wrong. So let's go doing the micro drip tubing. So we still have our drops per minute and 1500, and all we're going to do is substitute out over 24 hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and our drop factor is 60 drops, because remember micro is 60 drops per ml. Hour leaves me with drops per minute. I know I can reduce these down to 1, which leaves me 1500 divided by 24, which equals 62.5 or 63. Understand? Okay, let's go to number where is it? Number 17. Okay, number 17 is, we've already got our how many milliliters per hour, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier for us. So we're going to calculate the volume per minute. So I'm looking for drops per minute, and we're going to give D5W continuously at 70 drops per 70 milliliters per hour. So we have our 75 milliliters, and it's going to be over 1 hour. Okay. Our drop factor is 15 drops per ml. And now we need our time, right? 1 hour is 60 minutes. Okay, we can get rid of some stuff here. We have our hour, an hour, our milliliters, and milliliters. It leaves us with drops per minute. So I can end up, I know that I can reduce the 15 and the 60 down to 1 over 4. So we end up with 75 divided by 4, which equals 19 drops per minute. Okay, now we have another added step in here. It wants us to calculate the volume in 24 hours. So I'm looking for milliliters, and 24 hours is considered 1 day. Okay, so I'm looking at milliliters per day rather than 24 hours. It makes it a lot easier. So we have our 75 milliliters over 1 hour, and we know that there's 24 hours in 1 day. So I can get rid of my hours, and now I just have to multiply 75 times 24. This patient's going to get 1,800 milliliters per day. Okay? So then the next question is just asking us to calculate the volume per minute if it's reduced down to 50 milliliters per day. So we're looking again for drops per minute. We have 50 milliliters per hour and 15 drops because we're still using our standard macro drip tubing, and 1 hour is 60 minutes. So all my symbols cancel out, leaving me with drops per minute. I always do that first, so I know I've set my problem up correctly. So I can go 50, and this will reduce down to 4. I end up with 50 divided by 4, which ends up being 13 drops per minute. Okay, so that's how you set up your IVs, and I'm going to let you continue on working on your problems. You got any questions? Let me know. Thanks.